Es sah aus, als
You know, 2025 is seen by a lot of prophets and Bible scholars as a year where good and evil are kinda crossing over each other. The line between heaven and earth is getting real thin, and at the same time, it feels like the gates of hell are cracking open. All of a sudden, life on earth has turned chaotic. Strange things keep happening one after another. Stuff that used to look like it only belonged in movies or on social media, but now people are catching it on video. Real moments that are almost too weird to believe. They're mysterious and downright scary. A ball of fire shaped like a fist lights up the sky. Lakes turn pitch black and creepy creatures jump out from the bottom. White clouds fall right in the middle of scorching deserts. Giant crop circles show up overnight. Do you want to know what's really going on? Are these signs from God or fake miracles the Antichrist is putting out to fool everybody? Watch till the very end, don't skip a single thing. Who knows? Maybe you're the one who'll figure out the real answer to what's behind all this, God or the Antichrist. So you don't have to wait. Let's jump right in and look at 7 creepy things caught on camera and see how shockingly well they line up with what the Bible said would happen. You ready? 1. A strange object that looked just like a fiery fist in the sky. The camera caught it one evening in July, way out in some lonely desert. At first, there was just a bright spot streaking across the sky, like a meteor coming down fast. I figured it'd be an ordinary meteor shower, but things quickly got way stranger than I expected. When the camera zoomed in, you could clearly see the shape, a blazing fist made of fire, muscles and all, like it was carved right out of flames. It gave me chills all over. My heart was pounding, and every second felt like it was taking my breath away. The fire flared up, danced in the air for a bit, then slowly faded, leaving something you just can't shake, and a big question hanging there. What on earth was that? Some astronomers were quick to say it was Roadway, a meteor. No boom, no smoke or dust, and the shape was way too perfect to be random. This wasn't something natural. It looked like a mighty arm, almost like it came down as a warning. Psalm 89:13 says, "You have a mighty arm. Strong is your hand, and high is your right hand." Looking at that fiery fist, it's hard not to think of God raising his hand in the sky, maybe as a sign for all of us. Isaiah 30:30 puts it this way, "The Lord will cause his glorious voice to be heard and show the descent of his arm, with the indignation of his anger and the flame of a devouring fire." That video feels like a picture straight out of those words. Fire, flaring like judgment, yet also like a warning. This clip leaves anybody who watches it feeling scared and curious at the same time. Was it a sign from God? Or some kind of deceptive miracle from the Antichrist? Nobody knows for sure, but you can't deny something supernatural happened in that moment. What do you think it really was? Me, I don't have any doubt left. This wasn't a meteor. It was God's warning fist, caught perfectly on camera. So every one of us can think about it and ask ourselves what kind of power and message it's bringing. 2. A pitch-black lake and some mysterious creature swimming in it. The video starts with a lake out in the middle of the desert. The water's black, so thick and dark it looks like ink. At first, the surface is dead calm, nothing strange at all. But a few seconds later, black water starts splashing up onto the shore, sticking to the dirt and rocks like tar. Then the scary part happens. Something weird jumps right out of the lake. Its body shines like wet darkness, then drops back in with a big swirl. It doesn't look like any animal we know. It keeps leaping out over and over, fast and sudden, making your heart pound. You're curious and terrified at the same time. These clips spread like wildfire online and got everybody talking. Is this some natural thing or something supernatural? The water isn't clear anymore. It's black, and there's something alive down there, coming up from the deep, looking like it could hurt anything around it. Revelation 16:13-14 says, 3 evil spirits that looked like frogs came out of the mouth of the dragon, out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet, to gather the kings of the earth for the battle on the great day of God Almighty. This black water and creature in the lake sure reminds you of those evil spirits rising up, getting ready to mess with the world, signaling the Antichrist is on his way. Revelation 9:1-3 talks about a star falling from heaven, opening the pit of the abyss. Thick smoke rose like from a huge furnace, and out of the smoke locusts came down on the earth with power to hurt anyone who didn't have God's seal on their forehead. Does not that black lake in the video feels almost exactly like the waters of the abyss leaking out. It gives you chills that regular science can't explain. Watch the video and you'll see thick black water flying everywhere. That thing jumping out again and again, and nobody can touch it or guess what it'll do next. It's horrifying and fascinating all at once. You can't look away. Every second you're asking yourself, is this a sign of the Antichrist? Or is the Lord trying to warn us? This isn't just some weird black water and a mystery creature showing up. It's a wake-up call. Once the abyss opens, the world isn't normal anymore, and whatever's been buried deep down can come up anytime. The water isn't clear now. It's black, and something's living in it. 3. A solid wall of cloud in the heart of the desert. Around the same time, folks caught another strange video that really got people talking. From the scenery, I'd guess it was somewhere out in the hot Middle East. Nothing but endless desert all around. Up in the sky, these big, fluffy, white chunks, like pieces of cloud, started falling down. At first, just a few little bits, then more and more, piling up into thick, weird layers. The harsh sunlight bounced off them and made every piece glow, looking both dreamy and real at the same time. When those cloud pieces hit the ground, they turned the dry desert into one giant white wall. Local kids were running around and playing in it, having a grand old time. But people watching from farther away felt amazed and a little confused. This sure wasn't any normal weather. Second by second, you just couldn't look away. A lot of folks asked, is this a miracle straight from God, or just some crazy trick of the eyes? But the way the clouds fell so perfectly, so orderly, reminded people of something divine. It felt like a gentle reminder, a quiet message hidden in nature that only the watchful ones would catch. In Exodus 13:21-22, it says, "The Lord went ahead of his people, by day in a pillar of cloud to guide them, by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, so they could travel day and night." This wall of cloud out in the desert brought back that old picture of the cloud that protected and led the Israelites on their way out of Egypt, a living sign of God's care and guidance. Psalm 105-39 says, "He spread out a cloud as a covering, and fire to give light at night." That bright white wall in the blazing heat looked just like a protective curtain, showing that God still watches over and shields his children, even in the driest, hardest places. And in Revelation 7:16, God's people in the last days are promised they'll never again be burned by the sun or scorched by the heat. This strange sight felt like a picture of that promise. Right in the middle of a burning desert, God still sends shade, still shows up to protect and comfort his own. Watch the video and you'll see how odd it is every single second. Clouds dropping from the sky, not scattered or blown around by the wind, but lining up into a perfect wall. Mysterious and wonderful all at once, it leaves you a little scared and a lot curious about what's really going on. This miracle reminds us that even in the middle of chaos and dryness, God still sends gentle signs. It's more than just a pretty sight, it's a quiet nudge. Even in the most barren desert, God still gives shade to his kids, and anyone who's paying attention can feel that protection. 4. A strange patch of rain in the middle of a dry street. A guy in London caught a really weird weather moment on video and posted it online to ask what people thought. In the clip, you see something that just doesn't make sense. One stretch of road is getting poured on like crazy, while just a few yards away, the pavement is bone dry. The traffic camera shows every single raindrop hitting the ground and splashing into puddles, but there's no wind, not a cloud in the sky anywhere around. The rain only falls in one tiny spot, yet there's enough water to make folks on the street stop dead in their tracks and stare. If you look close, the line between the rain and the dry part is so sharp, it's almost hard to believe. This isn't the usual kind of thing nature does. It feels like a message somebody sent on purpose. Only the people paying real attention would notice it. Who decided the rain should only fall inch by inch like that? A lot of folks are wondering, is this a sign that God is drawing a clear line between the righteous and the wicked? Or just some strange trick of nature? The whole thing leaves you both a little scared and dying to know what's really going on. James 5:17-1-8 says, Elijah prayed, and it didn't rain for 3.5 years. He prayed again, and the rain came down, and the earth brought forth its crops. This little patch of rain reminds us of the power of prayer, how God can control the heavens and the earth, and that He can choose exactly where the rain falls and where it doesn't. Matthew 5:45 tells us, He causes His sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. But here the rain isn't falling on everybody the same. It's only in one spot, almost like the Lord is making a sharp dividing line, separating His own children from the rest of the world. Even in Revelation 11:6, the two witnesses are given power. They have authority to shut the sky so that no rain may fall during the days of their prophesying. That makes you think, this patch of rain might be a sign that God is working directly, showing His power and drawing clear lines in these last days. Watch the video, and you'll see every drop fall exactly where it's supposed to. No mixing, no spreading out. It's mysterious, it's scary, and it makes your heart beat faster. You can't help asking yourself, is God trying to get our attention? Or is this a warning that some other power is messing with nature? Rain doesn't fall evenly anymore. Every inch of ground is proof of God's power. It reminds us that even in this mixed-up world, He still chooses who He protects and still draws the line for those who belong to Him. 5. Strange circles appear in the middle of a cornfield. Overnight, at night, when everything's quiet and dark out in the cornfield, a security camera caught something hard to believe. A big gust of wind came straight down from above, roaring like a storm, making the corn stalks shake. In the middle of all that stillness, the corn didn't break. It just bent down into perfect circles, hundreds of feet across. The moonlight shone through and lit up those weird, beautiful shapes, and anybody who watches the video can't help but say, wow, is watcher. There's no sign of people, no machines, nothing that could make shapes this perfect in just one night. Everything lines up so exactly, it feels like some invisible force from the sky is doing it. Every stalk moves together with the wind, all at the same time. It's amazing and a little scary. You start wondering, is this just nature? Or is something supernatural stepping into our world? The Bible, in Ezekiel 1:4-28, says, a whirlwind came out of the north, and in the middle of it were 4 living creatures. That part talks about wheels within wheels, something a lot of folks today think sounds like UFOs. It almost feels like the same power the prophet Ezekiel saw way back then is showing up again now in these corn circles, something mysterious that's hard to explain. Revelation 13:13 says, the second beast performed great signs, even making fire come down from heaven to earth in front of people. That verse makes you wonder if these crop circles aren't just pretty patterns in a field. Maybe they're signs of supernatural powers at work. Maybe even something tied to the Antichrist, using big signs to fool the world. 2 Thessalonians 2:9 warns, the coming of the lawless one will be in accordance with how Satan works, with all kinds of counterfeit miracles, signs, and wonders. When you watch the video and see how perfectly those circles are made, you have to ask, who's really behind this? Is it God's power or fake miracles from the evil one? These circles aren't some farmer's prank. They show up overnight, mysterious, perfect, and impossible to figure out. The corn bends into circles but stays alive. Not one stalk snapped, like something on purpose pushed it down from above. It gets your curiosity going and makes every one of us wonder what kind of power is really running things in this world. 6. A messed up ant army forms a perfect bridge. Some curious guy filmed a wild animal moment when millions of ants suddenly showed up on his old roof. At first, they were just scattered little groups crawling around, but in just a couple of minutes, they started lining up tail to tail into long, twisty chains, moving together like clockwork. Every single ant seemed to know exactly where it belonged, working non-stop, falling into an order that's hard for us humans to even imagine. Then the craziest thing happened. All those ant lines joined up and built a perfect arch bridge, a gorgeous curved span reaching across the gap between two roofs. The daylight hit it just right, lighting up every detail and making this impossible ant structure look alive, like a straight-up miracle. Folks watching got chills, caught between total amazement and a little fear, wondering, is this just survival instinct? Or is some unseen power telling them what to do? Proverbs 6:6-8 says, "You lazy bum, go watch how ants do things. They don't have a boss or a foreman, yet they still stock up food in the summer." This video shows even the tiniest creatures are guided and run on perfect order, knowing how to get ready for tomorrow. Maybe this ant bridge is a living picture of how clever and powerful God is at running everything He made. You couldn't look away. Line after line of ants marching exactly right, forming a flawless curve that's almost superhuman. At night or in dim light, it got even spookier, like an invisible hand up above was directing the whole show. Every little detail screamed that this wasn't random. It felt like a sign from a higher power, reminding us who's really in charge. Matthew 10:29 asks, "Aren't 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them falls to the ground without your Father knowing." If God cares about every bird and every ant, does He ever overlook people? This ant bridge feels like a perfect illustration. Every living thing, big or small, is held in God's hand. On top of that, Exodus chapter 8 tells how God once sent insects to do special jobs. When you see that ant bridge, it's hard not to think of those stories. This isn't nature playing around. It looks planned, supernatural, strange, and honestly, a little scary. What makes it stick with you is how perfectly they all work together. Every ant moving like it was in a carefully directed movie. Zero mistakes, forming a perfectly symmetrical arch. Even when a few ants fell off the chain, others instantly adjusted so the bridge never broke. It all happened so fast, people just blurted out, "No way, that's impossible." Even the ants are lining up and doing what God says. What about us? This whole thing is a loud, in-your-face reminder. A supernatural power runs every creature. And we humans, are we paying attention and falling in line? That ant bridge proves everything. Even the tiniest bug follows the order of the Most High, and we're invited to look at it and ask ourselves the same question. 7. Strange black water gushing out from the desert. Right in the middle of a scorching desert, where the ground is cracked open like a bad wound, something shows up that'll give you the chills. Out of those cracks, thick black water, looking just like crude oil, starts oozing up real slow. It stinks something awful, the kind of rotten smell that makes your skin crawl. The sunlight hits that pitch-black surface and makes it look even worse, like a giant streak of blood running across the sand. This isn't some random coincidence anymore. It feels like a warning that something evil is rising up from way down deep. The camera zooms in close. You can see every drop of that black water hitting the sand, making little circles that spread out like some kind of scary energy. As the flow gets stronger, the ground all around gets soaked, cracks wider, almost like the desert is trying to swallow itself. If there was sound, you'd hear the bubbling and popping coming out of that thick black goo, enough to scare anybody half to death and make you wonder, is this just nature or something supernatural? Revelation 8:10-11 talks about a burning star falling and turning a third of the waters bitter, and it's called wormwood. This black water pouring out in the desert sure brings that prophecy to mind real quick. Part of the world is changing, drinking water turning bitter, life and resources not safe anymore. Then Revelation 16:4, the third bowl. rivers and springs turn to blood, and everybody suffers because the water becomes poisonous. This black flow isn't just a color, it's a warning sign. The start of a time when people have to face evil powers like nothing we've ever seen. Daniel 7 describes a beast coming up out of the sea, and sea can mean the deep places under the ground too. Black water like oil bursting up from the earth fits that picture perfectly. It's almost like the Antichrist isn't hiding anymore. He's getting ready to bring in a new kind of economy and power built on controlling dark resources, what some might call oil straight from hell. The video shows it clear. The black stream moves like a snake twisting through the sand, steaming and making a weird, misty fog that turns the whole desert into something out of a horror movie. Local folks can't explain it. They just stand there watching, with their mouths open. The water seems to have a mind of its own, following the cracks, spreading out in an orderly way, like an invisible hand is steering it. Experts who study nature watched the footage, and they're stumped too. It's not a regular spring, not normal oil coming up. It's something creepy and strange that's both terrifying and weirdly fascinating. You feel pulled into a supernatural story where the line between the real world and dark powers gets real thin. The desert is giving birth to the abyss. The black water has come. The Antichrist isn't hiding anymore. This is one of those big signs the Bible talked about. Evil forces are rising, getting ready for things the world has never seen. And we're watching scenes that used to only show up in nightmares or scary movies. This whole thing reminds us nothing happens by accident. When that black water starts pouring out, it's a direct wake-up call, telling us to pay attention and proving that God's power and His prophecies are still at work, even in a bone-dry desert, right in the middle of regular people like us. Looking back at everything we've just been through, it feels like we're watching a surreal painting that's somehow full of life. The sky lights up with what looks like God's own fist made of fire. Deserts suddenly pour out thick black water, and huge walls of pure white cloud appear like miracles shielding His children. On the streets of London, rain falls in perfect little patches, clear, precise, down to the exact meter. Cornfields get pressed into perfect circles overnight, not a stalk broken, just gently bent from above. Millions of ants line up tail to tail, forming living bridges, leaving us stunned at the order in even the tiniest lives. Deep cracks open in the ground and foul-smelling black water gushes up, all of it happening at the same time, and every bit caught on camera. Impossible to deny. These aren't just weird moments. They're strong messages from heaven, reminding us what time in history we're living in right now. Romans 8:22 says, "The whole creation is groaning like a woman in labor," and what we're seeing is living proof of that verse. The gentle signs, like those white cloud walls in the burning desert, or rain that falls only on dry streets, are God's way of waking us up, letting us know He's still watching over His kids every step of the way. But we can't ignore the scary ones either. Black water rising from the desert floor, perfect crop circles in the dark, deep cracks opening up. These are warnings about the Antichrist and the evil power that's growing in the world. Revelation 16:4 talks about rivers and springs turning to blood. Daniel 7 mentions the beast rising from the sea, and Revelation 13 warns about fake miracles from the second beast. This stuff isn't theory or rumor anymore. It's right in front of us, and anyone with eyes to see has to be amazed. You might be wondering, with both gentle signs and terrifying ones, what are we supposed to do? Exodus 13:21-2 tells how the pillar of cloud covered Israel by day. Psalm 105-39 says, He spread a cloud as a covering. And Matthew 10:29 reminds us not even a sparrow falls without Him knowing. Those little patches of rain and ants marching in perfect order show that God is still using small, gentle things to guide, warn, and protect His own. We're being told He's still in control, even when everything around us looks wild and frightening. At the same time, we can't forget the warning. The Antichrist isn't hiding anymore. Black water, crop circles, cracks in the earth, they're reminders that evil power is being let loose. getting ready for the hardest test mankind will ever face. Revelation 11:6 speaks of prophets who shut the sky so no rain falls. Revelation 16:13-1-4 talks about 3 unclean spirits like frogs coming out of the mouth of the beast. Everything is lining up with what we're seeing. God is warning us, and the whole universe is shouting. Look closer, and the main message gets clear. The gentle signs and the terrifying ones both have the same goal: to wake us up, to separate, to warn. Romans 8:22 gives us the big picture. Creation is groaning in labor pains, getting ready for something huge. God uses every little thing, white clouds, spot rain, ants in perfect lines, to remind us of His protection and guidance. At the same time, the Antichrist shows himself through the big, scary signs: black water, crop circles, deep cracks, proof that evil isn't hiding anymore. We're standing right between 2 powers, light and darkness, protection and warning, miracles and terror. All 7 things we just talked about aren't just strange sights, they're direct messages from heaven. God is calling us to wake up, recognize the signs, and choose the path of life. At the same time, the Antichrist is warning that the world is about to face trials like never before. So what's the big takeaway? Look at the sky, the desert, the streets, the fields, even the tiniest creatures, and you see a pattern. God uses gentle signs to wake us, protect us, and show the difference between light and darkness. At the same time, the Antichrist puts terrifying power on display to test faith, to warn, and to pull in anyone who isn't ready. All 7 of these things, the fist of fire in the sky, the black lake, the white cloud walls, the spot rain, the crop circles, the ant bridges, and the deep cracks, are living messages the whole world is watching right now. They remind us that we're living in historic days, and every one of us has to choose to wake up, recognize God's signs, and stay on guard against the power of the Antichrist. We can't stay asleep any longer. Every second of the video is another reminder. The light is still here. God's power is still real, and darkness can't win completely if we stay awake. These signs grab our attention and teach us that even in a chaotic world, there's a divine plan at work. Looking at the whole picture, the final message isn't just a warning. It's encouragement too. Open your eyes, look closely, see God's hand guiding you, and don't let evil blind you. Every single event, whether terrifying or gentle, reminds us that mankind is going through labor pains right now, and everything has a purpose in His eternal plan. These aren't just ordinary sights anymore. They're direct messages from heaven. What more of a sign are you waiting for? When a fiery fist appears in the sky, when black water rises up, when even ants line up in perfect order by God's design, and yet you still don't care? Every single thing we're seeing, whether it's gentle or terrifying, is a reminder that God is watching, He's in control, and He's warning us. We can't keep living the way we always have, ignoring signs that are plain as day. Wake up, pray, put your full trust in the Lord Jesus, because He's our strength, our protection, and the one who guides every step we take. Look at that fiery fist in the sky and see God's power on display. Look at the black water pouring out and understand that evil forces are showing themselves. Look at the white cloud walls and the spotty rains and see that God still cares about every little detail of our lives. We've got to pay attention to every message around us, not just notice them, but pass them on to everyone we know. When you share these things, when you remind others and pray with them, you become a tool in God's hands, bringing light and warning to people who are still asleep. Like Psalm 119-105 says, "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path." We've got to let that light shine into every corner of our lives so nobody gets lost in the dark. Think about it. The fiery fist in the sky shows God's power, but the black water rising from the desert is a warning about the Antichrist's power. Perfect crop circles at night, ants marching in line, localized rains, white cloud walls, all of it mixes gentle reminders with strong warnings. We have to ask ourselves, Which side are we on? Are we going to keep brushing it off? Or are we going to open our eyes, wake up, and choose the path of light? This is the time to turn around. Don't let your heart get hard when the signs are this clear. Pray every day, keep watching for these messages, and see God's presence in even the smallest things. Matthew 10:29 says, "Not one sparrow falls to the ground apart from your Father's will." If He notices something as small as a sparrow, He's definitely trying to get your attention right now, wanting you to wake up and choose the way of light. We don't have much time left. Every second that goes by, evil is showing itself more. The abyss is opening. Black water is pouring out. Crop circles are appearing. Everything is a clear warning that the Antichrist isn't hiding anymore. Revelation 13:1-4 talks about the false miracles the second beast will do to deceive people. What you're seeing on video isn't a joke or some old legend anymore. It's living proof of the power that's moving in the world right now. Spread these messages. When you share these sites and what they mean, you're helping others wake up. You're helping them see God's power and also recognize that the Antichrist's power is rising. This isn't make-believe. It's a direct message from heaven, calling every one of us to open our eyes, wake up, and choose the light. Pray. Put all your trust in the Lord Jesus. Notice every message around you. Feel His power and His love, and pass it on to everyone else. If you do that, you'll be a light in the darkness, a living sign of faith and hope. And before I finish, remember Revelation 22:20, Amen. Come, Lord Jesus. Let that prayer ring in your heart, reminding us that He's coming back. And every moment we stay awake, every prayer we pray, every message we share is getting us ready for that day. If these sites and messages shake you up, please like, share, and subscribe so more folks can wake up too. Drop a comment with what you think and feel. Is this a sign from God or from the Antichrist? Let's talk about it together, figure out the message together, and keep spreading the light in a world that's getting darker. We can't wait any longer. Every event, every sign is a living reminder. God is waking up His children, warning us about evil power, and showing us the path to choose. Wake up, pray, trust Him, and become someone who carries this living message to the whole world. Amen.
They're still back there! Go! Go! Holy hell, look at them! Oh, shit! Give her more throttle!
أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر يا الله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله.
A video popped up online last night that's got millions of people rewinding it second by second because they can't believe their own eyes. You won't believe this either. A group of folks out on a boat caught something behind them, a strange creature charging through the pitch-black water. When the flashlight sweeps across the surface, everybody sees it clear as day. A glowing emerald-green fishtail, a head that looks like a regular fish. But then, two human arms clawing hard at the water, trying to catch up to the boat. Just looking at it is enough to make your blood run cold. This isn't a joke anymore. This isn't fake. This is something beyond any explanation, because that video isn't the only one. In just over a year, from 2024 to 2025, way too many weird things have happened. Fire tornadoes spinning up out in open fields, a giant human-shaped shadow sliding across gray clouds, like the sky itself came alive, angels on white horses streaking across the horizon, even a golden city shining bright through a ripped-open cloud that left thousands of people speechless. And you know what? Every single one of these things has the same thing in common. They're happening more often, one right after another, and getting clearer every time. It doesn't feel like coincidence or just an illusion anymore. The people filming, the people watching, the people who saw it with their own eyes, they're all over the world, but they're all saying the same thing. Something is coming, and it's real close now. Time for mankind feels like it's shrinking, like we're walking into the final chapter of something huge. That creature in the ocean is just the first warning that a dark power has woken up. And at the exact same time, the sky is opening, like it's waiting for the last few folks to finally wake up. The 7 signs you're about to see aren't just scary clickbait. They're 7 final bells ringing right before the door of mercy closes forever. So don't skip a single message. You're one of the ones chosen first to wake up and receive His grace. Now come with me and let's take a good look at these 7 strange things that have been showing up in the sky here lately. The first sign: a half fish, half human creature with human arms hiding in the dark. Nobody saw it coming. A little 7-second video that shook the whole internet. A small boat rocking in the pitch black, people yelling mixed with the sound of waves, and right behind those scared fishermen, something jet black shot across the water faster than you'd believe. The flashlight caught it for just a second. 1 second that gave everybody goosebumps. A huge open mouth, rows of jagged teeth, a shiny emerald green fishtail glowing in the dark. And nobody could believe their eyes. 2 long human arms paddling hard through the water. Not a fake, not CGI. Nobody could fake those blank, milky eyes with no pupils, staring straight through the camera like it was looking right at you. The creepiest part? It didn't attack. It just followed the boat, like it was watching, checking something out. That's what really spooked a lot of researchers. Whatever showed up in the ocean that night didn't look like any mutated animal anybody's ever seen. Then people started putting the pieces together, and it got downright scary. If this wasn't some lab accident, wasn't a hoax, wasn't some weird natural thing, then what the heck was it? The answer gave a lot of folks the chills. The shape matched almost perfectly with the old stories about the beast coming up out of the sea, the very first thing that kicks off the final events for mankind. In Revelation 13:1, the Bible says, "I saw a beast coming up out of the sea, having 10 horns and 7 heads, and the dragon gave him his power." Yeah, it's symbolic writing. But when you see a half-fish, half-person thing with human arms, dead empty eyes, and this dark, heavy feeling around it, you've got to wonder, has the symbol turned real? Here's what really gets you. This wasn't a one-time deal. Right after that video went viral, reports started pouring in from all over the Pacific, the coast of Mexico, Indonesia, the Philippines. Strange noises from way down deep, stronger undercurrents, huge dark shadows swimming right at the surface. It felt like the whole ocean was waking up, getting ready to let something loose that's been locked away a long time. That's why a bunch of prophecy folks are calling this weird creature the first revealed sign, the opening act of something a lot bigger that's already rolling. And if the Bible's right, when the beast comes up out of the sea, it means one thing nobody wants to face. The Antichrist is already here, given power, set free to start the darkest rule the world's ever seen. Believe it or not, you still get that uneasy feeling when you watch that thing swimming through the night, like the ocean just told us a secret we were never ready to hear. If this really is the first warning sign, what's coming next is going to be a whole lot worse. Because once the beast from the sea shows up, the Antichrist's reign has already opened its eyes. And those other 7 signs are just the next chapters in a story you can't look away from. The second sign: fire tornadoes, God's cleansing flames. Just a few days later, a regular guy living out in the Nevada countryside caught something on video nobody had ever seen before. Out in the middle of an empty field, a normal-looking dust devil suddenly changed. Instead of kicking up dirt, the whole thing lit up bright as a forest fire. It spun like crazy, with some kind of unnatural power, shooting a couple 100 feet into the air. That red-orange glow was so strong, it made the night shake with every turn. The air got scorching hot and smelled like something burning, but the fire never spread outside the tornado. It was almost like the flames weren't there to destroy anything, just to warn folks, to make sure anybody who saw it would never forget that kind of power. In the days that followed, the same things started showing up all over. Arizona, Texas, even down on the plains of South America. Every one of them glowed that same red-orange, spinning so fast it hurt to watch, looking like giant pillars of fire pouring straight out of the sky. People couldn't find any normal explanation. Fear and wonder spread across the internet like wildfire. Everybody who saw one said the same thing. This isn't a regular tornado anymore. It's purifying fire moving across the earth. Revelation 8-7 says, "Fire mixed with blood was thrown down to the earth. A third of the earth was burned up. A third of the trees were burned up." Even if that's picture language, a lot of folks get chills watching these real-life fire whirlwinds and seeing how close it matches. Power coming down from above, destroying and warning at the same time, revealing something and daring us to pay attention. Theology folks also point to Revelation 13. The second beast performed great signs, even making fire come down from heaven in the sight of everyone. A lot of them think these fire tornadoes might not just be weather, they could be prophetic signs, pointing to the false prophet who's coming, the one who'll trick the whole world with miracles. Here's something that really spooked people. These things only showed up at night, when the sky was dark and the wind was howling. That red-orange light bounced off the black clouds and made creepy shapes, like nature itself was being stirred up to show something way beyond our understanding. Folks watching from a safe distance felt scared and fascinated all at once, too afraid to get close, but unable to look away. And if you're wondering whether this was just a one-time thing, no, it wasn't. These fire pillars have been popping up all over for months now. A bunch of prophecy teachers are calling them the first cleansing fires, a loud reminder that we're running out of time. Like the warnings in the old days, this fire isn't here to wipe everything out. It's here to wake us up, clean things up, and let us know the days of grace are coming to an end. When you look at one of those spinning columns of fire, you realize it's not just weather. It's a message from heaven, scary as can be, yet impossible to ignore, making everybody stop, stare, and ask themselves, what's coming next? These fire tornadoes are only chapter 2 of things we've never seen before. And if you've got the guts, get ready, because the next signs are already starting to show up. The third sign, an angel riding a white horse galloping across the clouds. Can you picture it? One clear afternoon, big fluffy clouds are drifting across a blue sky. Then suddenly, a pure white light rips through the haze. Right there in the middle of it, a huge figure appears. An angel on a white horse, white robe flapping in the wind, enormous wings spread wide, charging toward the horizon, like he's about to come straight down to earth. The people who saw it couldn't even speak at first. They just stood there with their heads tipped back, hearts pounding, eyes locked on that horse and rider, scared half to death and amazed at the same time. There was a sound like fierce wind rushing past wings, mixed with the thunder of hooves echoing through the quiet sky. It felt unreal, like you couldn't tell if you were awake or dreaming. It didn't happen just once. People in different parts of the world have reported the same thing. A glowing being on a white horse, racing across the clouds, leaving a faint golden trail against a dark sky. The light wasn't blinding, but it lit everything up, like a gentle warning, a reminder to anyone who's lost their way that God is still in charge. Everybody who saw it felt the same thing. The gates of heaven have swung open, and the Lord's advance army is on the move. Revelation 19:11-14 says it plain as day. I saw heaven standing open, and there before me was a white horse. The rider is called Faithful and True. The armies of heaven were following him, riding on white horses and dressed in fine linen, white and clean. When you line that up with what folks are seeing in the sky these days, it gives you chills. It looks exactly like what the Bible described 2,000 years ago. Like the prophecy isn't just a prediction anymore. It's happening right in front of us. This sighting feels mysterious and scary all at once. It's a heads up that Jesus is getting ready to come back, and the terrible things that come right before that might not be far off. Not everybody sees it, but the ones who do say their heart stops for a second and they can't get the picture out of their mind. It's like everything is shouting, His time is close. The angels have been sent out, and we're standing on the edge of the final signs. If you're wondering whether this is just people imagining things or some weird weather trick, think about this. The same reports keep coming in from countries all over the world. There's video of it, and online everybody's talking about the same mix of fear and wonder. It feels like a loud reminder that we're running out of time to get our hearts right, that one sign after another is lining up, leading us straight to the day Jesus returns. When you look at that angel on the white horse, you can feel how huge and heavy this moment is. It's not just something pretty in the sky. It's a living wake-up call, telling every one of us to open our eyes before it's too late. If you want to know more, keep watching, because the story isn't over yet, and the next signs are going to be even more breathtaking and frightening than this one. The fourth sign, the holy city, the New Jerusalem, appears through the clouds. One morning, a sky full of thick gray clouds suddenly tore open. A soft golden light poured through, filling everything with a dreamy, almost unreal glow. People who saw it couldn't believe their eyes. There, hanging in the sky, was a shining holy city. Light bounced off its golden walls, down to the earth, like it was trying to wake up every sleepy soul. A big crowd gathered on a hill outside town. Everyone stood with eyes wide and mouths open, feeling a strange shiver coming from the sky. The city wasn't just some castle floating up there. It felt alive. It hung in the clouds, but somehow seemed close and far away at the same time, like it was calling out to anyone who'd lost their way. Look up. Get your heart ready. Believers and Bible scholars pulled out their phones, recording everything and posting it online. Every video blew up. You could see the gentle but powerful light, the glowing gates and towers, streets paved with jewels that sparkled like crazy, all of it wrapped in something mysterious and awesome. Anyone who watched felt heaven itself talking straight to them. Grace is still here, but it won't last forever. Revelation 21:2-3 says, I saw the holy city, the New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God. Every detail in the sky that day matched those words perfectly. It was like an old prophecy coming alive right in front of the world, proof that heaven is getting closer, ready for those who are chosen to see it. Revelation 21:10-21 goes on about how perfect and beautiful the city is, its walls, its pearl gates, its streets of pure gold, and the glorious light everywhere. People watching felt scared and amazed at the same time. It's a warning and a promise rolled into one. If you're still living in God's grace, you'll get to see the glory He's prepared. If you keep putting it off, you'll miss it. It's hard to put into words what it felt like to see that city in the sky. Beautiful, heavy, mysterious, all at once. It teaches you to be ready, to wake up, and to hold on to hope. Every ray of light, every detail, seemed to whisper, look up, wake up. The time is coming soon, and those who are ready will be taken up with Him. Once you saw it, you couldn't look away. The New Jerusalem hanging there wasn't just a picture. It was a living reminder that heaven is opening, and the signs keep coming, one after another. If you've got the courage, keep watching, because the story isn't over. The next things coming will be even more wonderful, more powerful, and more breathtaking than this. The fifth sign, a giant angel with wide wings shooting up from the horizon out at sea. One afternoon on the beach, thousands of people stood packed together, staring out at the far horizon. The air was so still, you could hear the waves hitting the shore like a heartbeat. Then, all of a sudden, a huge, soft, golden light burst out over the water. So bright, the whole ocean sparkled like a living jewel. In the blink of an eye, a massive angel appeared. Its enormous wings opened wide, and it shot straight up into the sky, slicing through the clouds like it was cutting the heavens in two. The light around it was gentle and powerful at the same time. You could feel the holy power of it in your chest and all across that beach. People grabbed their phones, trying to catch something nobody had ever seen before. An angel spreading its wings, soaring higher and higher over the sea, its light melting into the clouds, looking like a direct message straight from heaven. Everyone who saw it felt chills, half scared, half thrilled, wondering what was coming next. The book of Revelation 14:6-7 says, "Then I saw another angel flying in midair, with the eternal gospel to proclaim to everyone on earth, to every nation, tribe, language, and people." What showed up that day looks exactly like that old prophecy coming to life, reminding us that the signs have started coming one after another, and the countdown to Judgment Day is out in the open now. And Matthew 24:31 says, "He will send his angels, and they will gather his chosen ones from the four winds." This moment feels like the gathering is about to start. Those wings are the first clear, impossible to deny sign. Anyone who's still wandering, anyone who isn't ready, needs to stop right now and pay attention. There isn't much time left. The whole thing was terrifying and full of hope at the same time, mysterious yet somehow close and personal. Thousands of eyes followed it. Thousands of hands reached toward the sky, and everyone felt the same holy message. Get your heart ready. Watch for every sign, and realize heaven is opening up for anyone willing to look and follow. That angel rising from the horizon today wasn't just a picture. It was a living wake-up call. The time is almost here. Whoever stays awake and brave enough to watch and get ready will see the glory and be part of God's plan. Anyone who hesitates will miss the last chance. The sixth sign, a giant human figure with glowing white-purple angel wings gliding through the dark gray clouds. Are you looking up at that gloomy sky right now? Right there among the thick clouds, a huge human figure suddenly shows up, taller than anything you could imagine, with massive angel wings spread wide like it's trying to wrap its arms around the whole horizon. A soft, white-purple light glows all around that giant body. Not blinding, but bright enough to make every feather on those wings look alive as they slide across the clouds. Do you see it yet? Watch close. Every little detail matters. The figure floats along the tops of the clouds, gentle but majestic, moving with a mysterious rhythm like it owns the whole sky. Every move seems to say one thing loud and clear. This isn't just a symbol. This isn't a dream. This is really happening right in front of the whole world. Can you picture it? Can you feel the power hiding in that white-purple light? Daniel 7:13 says, "One like a son of man coming with the clouds of heaven, and he will come to the Ancient of Days and be given everlasting dominion and glory." And Revelation 1-7 says, "Look, he is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him, and all the peoples of the earth will mourn because of him." Those words aren't just far-off prophecies anymore. They're being played out in the sky you're looking at right now. What really gets you is how the air around the figure seems to shimmer. That white-purple light shoots out little dancing rays across the gray clouds and bounces down to the ground like a direct message to every person on earth. It's a warning. The day Jesus comes back for all to see is getting close, and the time left to get our hearts ready is running out fast. This isn't just a picture in the sky. This giant figure shows a kind of power the world has never seen before. It breaks every rule of physics, flying high, and makes you wonder, do you realize something huge is happening up there? Heaven is getting ready to come down, and anyone who's paying attention will see the signs and not be left behind. As the figure keeps gliding by, you notice nothing about it is random. Not the light, not the way it moves. It's all a reminder. The moment we're taken up is almost here. And whoever is still watching, whoever is still listening, will be led straight to salvation. The final sign, a miles-long cloud shaped like pilgrims in the Philippines. Up in the sky over the Philippines, a huge cloud suddenly showed up that looked just like a line of pilgrims. It stood still in the air, stretching for miles. Pure white figures, all connected, just quietly waiting there. Under their feet was a soft streak of cloud like desert sand, reminding folks of the Israelites walking through the wilderness long ago. A pale golden light shone through the gray clouds, lighting up every outline of those figures. It was mysterious and solemn, all at once. No movement, no sound, just the plain, powerful presence of something supernatural, standing strong against a dark sky, telling us that an important moment is getting close. Every figure was clear and spotless, like they were saying a holy journey is about to start. Like it says in Exodus 13:21, "By day the Lord went ahead of them in a pillar of cloud to guide them on their way." And in 1 Thessalonians 4:17, "We will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air." Those old promises seem to come alive right there over the Philippines, with that cloud standing tall as the final sign of God's guidance. The stillness of it made everything feel even more serious. It didn't move, didn't rush, but the light and the perfect shape of every person made you feel a power way beyond anything human. This cloud was the pillar of cloud leading the way, reminding us that the chosen ones still have one last chance to walk into heaven. Every little detail was plain to see. The arms, the way they stood, the pure white robes, the soft golden light glowing against the gray sky. That cloud hung there like a message straight from heaven, like a gentle warning that the door to salvation is still open, but only for those who are ready. The whole thing was grand, yet perfectly quiet. A picture you could see with your own eyes of God leading His people, tying the old stories to right now and letting us know the deciding time is almost here. These strange things that have just shown up aren't just random little signs anymore. They're coming one right after another, like a terrifying symphony, telling us loud and clear that human history is about to take its final turn. Everything we've seen so far, from the beast rising out of the sea, the fire tornado, the angel on the white horse, all the way to the New Jerusalem appearing, points to one single message. The last day is almost here. The beast from the sea, the open appearance of the Antichrist, has stepped onto the world stage with no more hiding. That brutal power is out in the open now, and it's making everybody stop and realize a whole new era has started, an era of lies and evil rule. Right after that, a tornado of fire showed up, lighting up the fields, spinning like a giant pillar of flame. This fire doesn't just destroy, it's a warning. The time of God's patience is running out, and mankind is about to face the final tests. The blinding light and the wild spinning leave anyone who sees it stunned, amazed at the power that's here on earth right now. An angel riding a white horse came racing across the sky, huge wings spreading soft golden light from horizon to horizon. This is the picture of heaven's advance team, letting us know a chain of huge events has begun. When that rider appeared, it was like the sky itself opened up, getting ready for what's next, proving that God's power is coming down to earth to set the stage for the very end. Then, almost right away, the New Jerusalem appeared in the gray clouds, glowing soft gold, hanging in the sky like something out of a dream, something nobody could look away from. That city shining there is God's last promise. There's still a chance to be saved for anyone willing to walk into the light. Angels with wide wings shot across the horizon, light all around them, reminding everyone that the gathering up has started. The chosen ones will be caught up into the air, and that moment will be the point of no return for the whole human race. A giant figure with angel wings moved through the gray clouds, mysterious white and purple light pouring out everywhere. It's proof that God's great power is about to show itself openly, signaling the big handover right before the Lord comes back for good. Finally, a cloud shaped like a long line of pilgrims stood still, miles and miles long, looking just like the children of Israel marching through the desert long ago. It didn't move, but just being there was enough to make anyone who saw it understand. The guide has come, and those who belong to Him will not be left behind. All these things together shout one message: the Antichrist is here. The gates of heaven are open. The angels are at work, and the last day is right at the door. There's no more time to hesitate or put it off. The signs are so clear, nobody can deny them. Evil power has shown its face. Heaven has come down, and mankind is standing on the edge of the final choice. The last, loudest warning rings out. Now is the time to choose. Anyone who keeps putting it off or ignoring it will be left here for the great trouble that's coming. The door of mercy is about to close. Today, if you hear his voice, don't harden your heart. Getting ready, turning back to God, and making your choice, that's the most urgent thing in the world, because nobody knows exactly when that final moment will come. So what are you going to do with this message? Matthew 24, verse 44 says, "So you also must be ready, because the Son of Man will come at an hour when you do not expect him." There's no more time to wait, no more chances to put it off. The door of mercy is closing. Today, if you hear his voice, don't harden your heart. All these strange things happening one right after another are slowly putting together a big picture. The final days are getting real close. The beast from the sea has shown up in plain sight. The Antichrist is already here. No more hiding. And evil power is right out in the open for everyone to see. Right after that, fire tornadoes lit up and spun wildly across the fields, like a loud warning that the time of grace is almost over, and folks need to pick their path right now. An angel on a white horse shot across the sky, wings throwing off soft golden light that lit up the whole horizon, letting us know the first angels from heaven have arrived, and the next steps are coming soon. The New Jerusalem was hanging there, in the gray clouds, shining bright gold like one last promise, holding the door open for anyone ready to see it and walk into the light. An angel with huge wings rose from the horizon, glowing all around, showing that the taking up has started, and those who are chosen will be caught up into the air. A giant figure with angel wings slid through the thick clouds, wrapped in mysterious white and purple light, telling us that mighty power is about to show itself wide open. And finally, a cloud shaped like a long line of pilgrims, miles long, stood still in the sky, looking just like God's people from long ago, proving that nobody who's chosen will be left behind. The pillar of cloud that leads to heaven has shown up. All of it ties together into one single message. The Antichrist is stepping closer to the world every day, while God has already opened the door of heaven and is getting ready to bring his chosen ones home. The deciding moment is almost here, and anyone who hesitates will be left standing outside the light, missing their chance to meet him. This isn't just a warning, it's a heartfelt invitation. Wake up. Get your heart ready to receive God's light and love. Every day we still have is another chance to turn back to him, pray, and live fully. Look around you. Share love with the people nearby. Live thankful and forgiving. That's exactly how you get your soul ready for heaven. Pray often. Don't miss a single chance to talk to the Lord. Faith isn't just words. It's how you live, with love, humility, and giving yourself away. Every little act, every honest prayer brings you one step closer to being ready for the day he appears. Open your heart wide for his grace. Forgive yourself and others, and be ready for whatever comes next. The world is changing fast, and signs from heaven and earth keep reminding us, choose the path of light. Get ready for the Lord to come back in all his glory. We need to live thankful lives, sharing and spreading love. Do the small things that matter. Help people. Plant goodness. Make the world a little better. That's how you prepare your soul so that when he comes, you won't have any regrets. Don't harden your heart. Don't put it off. Open up. Trust God. Pray and live the way your faith calls you to. This is the moment to act, to get your heart and your life ready for everything God has promised. And last but not least, hit like, share, and subscribe so this important message can reach more folks. Let's stay awake together, stay ready, and live in the light of his love and grace. The door of grace is about to close. Today, if you hear his voice, don't harden your heart. Get your soul ready, get your life ready, and take this last chance to meet him in his glory.
Local residents used their bare hands to dig through what was left of their timber and mud brick homes.
Overnight on Florida's Gulf Coast, Hurricane Helene, a catastrophic Category 4.
For thousands of years, humanity has hunted for a legend. For millennia, mankind has pursued an object believed to carry the power of God Himself, the Ark of the Covenant. A sacred golden chest that once parted seas, toppled cities, and made enemies tremble, only to vanish from history over 2,500 years ago. From Egypt to Ethiopia to Jerusalem, countless expeditions have set out with the same burning desire to find where the Ark of the Covenant is hidden. Yet every trace of it has dissolved like mist. No one knows where it is or why it disappeared. But then a strange signal emerged. At the heart of Jerusalem's old city, archaeologists detected an energy source emanating from more than 30 meters underground, a frequency that matched the rhythm of an ancient hymn recorded in the Bible from the time of Moses. The excavation leader said only one thing before the area was sealed off: "This isn't just a relic, it's alive." Since then, rumors have spread like wildfire. Some claim they saw green light glowing from the earth. Others swear they heard trumpets echoing in the night, the sound the Bible describes as the voice of God. Is this merely a natural phenomenon, or a sign of something greater, a wake-up call from heaven? As radar, ground scanners, and magnetic sensors zero in on Jerusalem, people are starting to realize every coordinate, every legend, every prophecy, they all converge on a single point. A metallic structure lies deep beneath the ancient temple's foundation, shaped exactly as the book of Exodus describes the Ark of the Covenant. Could it be that, after millennia of silence, this sacred object is ready to return? Could this be God's call, signaling the moment the covenant will be restored? No one has a definitive answer. But one thing is undeniable. The world stands before a mystery that humbles both science and faith. And perhaps, when that door is opened, humanity won't just uncover an artifact, but face the return of God Himself. Watch until the end of the video to hear the profound instructions God has entrusted to His children through this ancient treasure. What you're about to hear next will answer every question swirling in your mind right now. Stay with us to witness what humanity has longed to find for thousands of years. Because up next, we'll descend into a place the world has never set foot in, where, perhaps, the Ark of the Covenant awaits its awakening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single moment of this monumental revelation. They say every mystery lies beneath the stones, but no one could have imagined that right under the heart of Jerusalem's old city, where millions of pilgrims kneel in prayer each year, there exists an unrecorded void. It's not a tomb, nor an ancient treasure trove. It's a perfect rectangle, 2.5 cubits long and 1.5 wide, matching the exact dimensions of the Ark of the Covenant as described in the Bible. A coincidence so precise that even archaeologists admit this can't be random. Right after the signal was confirmed, the research team began exploratory drilling. Each drill bit descending was a moment of suspense, because below, it wasn't just rock, but possibly history waiting to be awakened. When the drill hit a hollow layer, all the radiation detection equipment spiked simultaneously. Abnormal ionization, energy levels akin to those around nuclear reactors, yet no radioactive source was present. No one on the team could explain it. And at that moment, the excavation leader gave the order: "Stop. We're no longer digging for archaeology. We're touching the sacred." But human curiosity always outweighs fear. A young engineer, carrying a fiber optic camera, secretly lowered a probe through a small crack in the stone. When the first light pierced through, the screen before them lit up, and everyone held their breath. Amid the dust-covered darkness of time, a solid gold object emerged. Two intricately carved wings spread wide, as if shielding an empty space in the center. On the front, an ancient Hebrew inscription was etched deep into the metal: the throne of His name. Not a replica, not an idol. It was a true Ark of the Covenant. As they expanded the chamber, they realized it resembled no known relic. Thin bronze rods ran along the stone floor, interwoven like a high-energy circuit grid. On the walls, cedar wood was scorched black, traces of an intense energy discharge. Even the stone floor had melted in places, crystallizing into transparent glass. Everything pointed to one thing. An immense energy source had once been unleashed here. But how? In an era without electricity or machinery, no one could fathom. When dust and debris samples were sent for analysis, the results stunned the scientific community. The ionized particles had an isotopic structure similar to materials in modern particle accelerators. One physicist could only exclaim, "We're facing technology thousands of years ahead of humanity." Something ate this roding, and what silenced everyone was a small piece of wood found beneath the ark's gold layer. Not cedar, not acacia, but an unidentified species. Under a microscope, its cellular structure was unnaturally dense, capable of conducting electricity and resisting decay, something even modern synthetic materials can't achieve. Amid the glint of gold and dust, an invisible energy seemed to pulse. This wasn't just an artifact. It was alive, emitting a faint, low hum, like a heartbeat. An audio expert tried using a low-frequency microphone. The recorded sound had a rhythmic waveform, perfectly matching the acoustic ratio of the breath of the divine in ancient Sumerian hymns. There was no doubt, whatever lay underground was responding to human presence. As the chamber's lid was widened, the air in the room grew heavier. A faint heat wafted out, carrying the scent of metal and ancient dust. Then, suddenly, the electromagnetic sensors detected a fluctuation, a pulse of energy emanating from the object's core. All devices flickered, lights dimmed and flared back. The entire chamber trembled slightly, as if something had awakened from a millennia-long slumber. An archaeologist whispered, "If this is truly the throne of his name, we may have just knocked on heaven's door." No one spoke further. In that moment, all theories became meaningless, leaving only a sacred awe filling the chamber. When the light shone on the golden surface, the reflected light fractured into thousands of rays, as if responding, as if watching them back. Experts later called it the sacred resonance phenomenon, when the object emitted vibrations interacting with Earth's magnetic field. But for those with faith, they believed one thing: God has never left this world. He's only waited for humanity to be brave enough to find him. From that day, the chamber was sealed off completely. No one was allowed access. No images were released. But among scholars, rumors spread. An ancient text was found beneath the ark's pedestal, bearing a single inscription: "Do not open the lid until the appointed time." And so, the question echoed everywhere. Could it be that the appointed time is near? Could it be that, after over 2,500 years, the Ark of the Covenant has not only been found, but is about to be awakened? One thing every archaeologist learns after centuries of digging in Jerusalem: each time the dust is brushed away, history changes. They thought uncovering the chamber beneath the old city was the pinnacle. But no, it was only the first door to a deeper mystery, challenging faith, science, and human understanding. From the shards of stone buried for thousands of years, a discovery turned everything upside down. Faint Proto-Hebrew inscriptions carved on the surface, deciphered after weeks using light spectrum scanning technology. The trembling words emerged: "He commanded," and the ark was moved before the house was completed. That inscription left the entire research team stunned. If this is true, it means the Ark of the Covenant, once seen in King Solomon's temple, was never the original. A perfect replica was placed there, like a diversion, to protect the true Ark from those who would hunt it for millennia. Questions arose: who moved the Ark, and why did they know it would be sought after? Historians found, in the same rock crevice, a metal fragment fused to the stone, seemingly once part of the Ark itself. When analyzed, the results forced the lab to triple-check. The metal contained iridium and osmium, two extremely rare elements found only in meteorites from outer space.